Ciao friends, my name is Joey Balistreri. Welcome to my work table. I literally just came from the mailbox. I got my Potomac Beads treasure box for the month and I am so excited for the month of November. Every month our treasure box comes in this little reusable box with a magnetic closure. So if you're an organizer like me, you can definitely use this. I make labels for them and you can even write right on the box. It's so great to keep ourselves organized with all the bits and pieces that come with jewelry art. But look at this month's box. It's got some really unique things in it this month. I am so excited for it. It is called the Golden Hour Shadows Treasure Box. And really, I read this and I thought that is such a great description of the fall, because in the autumn, the light does change. The colors in nature change. It's just, it's one of my favorite seasons, and this box is just great for that. So here's our little ingredient list of everything that's in the box. I am so excited to do a project. I've already designed a really cool pair of earrings, and I'm going to do my own artisan ear wires. I'll show you how to do that, but let's have a look at the pieces in the box this month, and then we'll dive right into a project after we go through everything. So I'm going to set my list aside. Potomac Beads has their own metal findings line, which is such a great alternative if you are missing tiara cast. And so this month we got 2 little wishbone charms in silver, and they're in their beautiful Athena cast with a silver plating, and they are so cool. I love those. And then we received some 3mm faceted fire agate beads, a whole strand. I absolutely love this. We got something similar in one of the boxes that I get every month, and it was in last month's. And I wanted to order more because I used it all up, but I'm so thrilled to have this. I love when we get the smaller gemstones in our boxes. And then this is so cool. This is a squishy bicone. These are check glass. It's a bicone rondelle bead, and I just love this pumpkin color for fall. This is such a cool bead. I just love this. I have received this in some other colors in check glass, but I love this beautiful orange. And then I love getting these. This is such a cool finding. We got some gold and silver plated eyeglass bands. So there's 2 of each. And it just reminds me I haven't done eyeglass strings in a really long time. I am long overdue to make a pair. And I wish you guys could feel this, because I have purchased some really cheap ones of these, but these are so nice and soft and would be so easy to take on and off of eyeglasses. So I love getting those. And then we got some check glass petal beads. There are 3 of them, and they have these beautiful dark purple, like almost an eggplant purple stripes through them, and each of them has got a little bit of a different look to the glass. Each has its own personality, and they have a table cut side, front and back, and the drill hole goes right up the middle. I guess I could grab a piece of wire so I could kind of show you this bead, but isn't it pretty? It does look like a petal, and I love the way you can see your stringing material almost like a window right through there and in between the stripes. This is just such a beautiful bead. So interesting. And then up next are these 18mm twisted crystal faceted beads. Aren't they amazing? They have all kinds of cuts in them, but it does kind of look like the glass is twisted. Those are so gorgeous. I love those. And then let's see what's up next. Oh, the check glass rondelles. I love these. Oh my goodness, these are such beautiful beads. I love using these as spacers, but I love just stringing anything in between them. And what I love about this type of glass is the stripiness in this glass. Each one has its own personality. They're all just a little bit different. Like this one has some darker stripes in it. You can see some of them are more of that like fire red, burnt orange kind of a color. They have so much movement in a piece, and I love this bead shape. So fabulous. And then I put a little scoop out here of the metallic pale gold Azuki 11O seed beads. We got an entire tube. Potomac beads always, pretty much always that I remember, they try to put some seed beads in every box because they are just so useful. They are wonderful if you're a bead weaver, of course, because you need those for beading. But if you do mostly what I do, wire working and stringing and knotting, they are the most wonderful spacers. And there's all different sizes. We got 11 O's in this box, but isn't that so pretty? And the Azuki is like an up and coming line of seed bead, very uniform and really, really nice to work with. And then this is so cool. This is the, let me just pull out. This is from Bead Tech. I'll just show you the package that it came in. These are a pack of 2 of the Bead Tech pumpkins, and they are like laser cut, and they come with a little paper on the back, so you can just peel that away and it reveals the wood. And these are just so beautiful. They have so much detail, but they're really lightweight. I love having elements like this to make my bookmarkers with. It's one of my favorite things to create. And with a bookmarker, you need like a little theme and a dangle at each end of the marker, unless you're doing one of the hook kinds. But they're lightweight, and especially these are great if you're giving gifts for people that travel, because weight matters when you're carrying things on a trip. But those are so beautiful, and there are 2 of them. So pretty. And then this is the first time I remember getting chain in any of our treasure boxes, but I love this. We got this beautiful classic curb chain and a whole card. This is a 3x4 millimeter chain. I'm not sure of the length. It might have been on the package that it was in, but this is so wonderful for making extenders on necklaces. You can make charm bracelets out of this because you have nice open links to attach things to. I am just thrilled to get a little card of chain. Absolutely wonderful. And then this is so cool too. I put them over here. This makes me so happy. These are 4 millimeter Potomac pearls, and this is in an olive gold. This is such a gorgeous glass pearl. I used to spend a fortune on really expensive Swarovski pearls for my projects, and when I discovered Potomac pearls, that just made me so happy. I didn't cut the strand yet, but they are going to go in my first project. But the way you can tell about the quality of a pearl is looking at the hole, because if you get really cheap ones, they will peel and they just don't hold up to wear and tear. But you never have that problem with the Potomac pearls. And I just love this sweet size. The 4 millimeter is just so, they just even feel so good. So when we get Potomac pearls in our treasure box, it makes me so happy. And especially this wonderful warm autumnal gold. So pretty. I'm going to set those over here. I hate to put them down. And then we got a whole bag of iris duos, and I'm actually, well, I was going to scoop them up because it's this mix of color that is so beautiful. So these are 2 whole beads. And again, if you're a bead weaver, there's so many patterns on the Potomac Beads website, and so many projects to choose from. But a lot of times I use my 2 whole beads for spacers. I love to make rings with 2 whole beads. I love to make wrap bracelets. They are just so fun. You can create negative space. You can put seed beads in between so that you really get unusual shapes and patterns. But this is such a pretty, almost like a matte metallic like color mixture. I just love it. It's so pretty. And so then we also got another favorite thing of mine. I have a lot of favorites in this box. I love getting check glass flower beads. I can never have enough. I have a huge organizing bin, and these are absolutely stunning with a copper wash, and they're 7 millimeter. I just love this color. I have to kind of give a sneak peek of what I'm going to make, but look at this beautiful color with this flower and this pearl. And we did get a mixture of metals in this month's box. The wishbones were in silver. We're getting to the copper, and then we got silver chain, and there's gold seed beads. So I love that it's a sampler with all the different metallics in this box. It's so fun to either separate them out or mix them together. I really love doing that. This was from, I think, last month's treasure box, the Spice Market, and I mixed like copper and gold and all the spice colors. I put copper charms and copper seed beads in with the gold ones and some brass. I just love mixing, and this is such a well done, like, it's curated, but it is also kind of a sampler. I always find that I'm challenged when I get my Potomac treasure box because they always put beads in that I probably would not have ordered if I was on the website, but they make me more creative, you know, getting new beads, new bead shapes. It really sparks creativity, so I just love that. And then we got these gorgeous check glass lentil beads, and these are in this jet. I forget the colorway. It's not listed. It was listed on the package, but I just love these. If you like making like clusters or cha-cha sections on bracelets or necklaces, these are so fun and easy. The drill hole is at the top of this lentil shaped bead, and you can actually just put a jump ring right through each of the ones and then cluster them onto your stringing. It's so fun, and you get like a lot of movement, and really, as you can see even from the way they came on the shipping strand, that you get a lot of texture because, you know, they'll move all different ways. They're just so fun. I love lentil beads. And then we got an entire strand. I am so excited about this as well. These are check smooth rondelles, and they're 3 by 6 millimeter. The drill hole on these is right in the middle, and of course you see what they look like when they're all strung together, but these are such amazing spacer beads. And if you even put a gold seed bead, like if you took the Azuki gold seed beads that were in the box and just strung these with a bead in between, that would make a stunning bracelet. In fact, I might have just thought up another project to do. I just love those, and so classic to have black and gold. But I have to say, when I was unboxing this, I was looking at the black lentils with the 4 millimeter pearls. That is also really a gorgeous combination. There's a lot of gorgeous combinations in this. And then I have another favorite in the box. I absolutely love this. This is a check glass flat cube. So it's really dimensional. It is kind of a flattened down cube. It's not a perfect square, but I just love it, and I love this color. This is like a metallic burgundy, and I'm just, look at this bead, you guys. It's so pretty. I just love it. I think that I have had these in black in months past, and I believe I used every single one of them. They are so fun. And then we got some Athena cast hollow filigree links. They look like the Italian bird cage. I have them on my kitchen handles. It's a really classic design. In interior design, drapery rods had these like Italian bird cage or you know, twisted cages for the finials. It's just so classic for me, and I just love it. And spoiler alert, this is going to be part of my first project. I just love those, and I love the copper color. They are just so, they just speak to me. I just love those. There's something really cool about these too. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but the loops that are cast into this are going in opposite directions. So if you wanted to, you know, attach this one directly to an ear wire, then this loop at the bottom is going in the opposite direction for another dangle or another charm to hang from it. So they are so cool, so beautifully made. And then another thing that I absolutely love about the Potomac Treasure Box is every month, as far as I can remember, they try to put something in our box that is not a bead, something for our work tables. And this month is really good, you guys. Look at this. This is a slip and snip scissor, and I wish you could feel it. It is a nice heavy pair of scissors, and so you pull it open and then fold it out, and you have a really nice pair of scissors, which we need scissors on our work table. But I just did a girls' beading trip to South Florida, and we shopped for beads and we shopped for clothes and we went for drinks and stuff. But in the evening, we worked on projects, and when I packed everything for that trip, packed what I wanted to work on, I did not put scissors in. And so I was borrowing my friend's scissors, but these are wonderful if you travel and you like to bring a project with you. These are just wonderful because you can, I folded them wrong, but you can fold them up so that you can pack them and the blades are, not in the way and not cutting anything in your packing. And they're a nice weight. And I love even the little loop here because I'm known, in fact, let me show you. This is a vintage pair of thread scissors that I keep on my work table, and I am known to make a scissor sachet. This little clown has lavender. He came from England, and he has lavender in his legs, so I just love adding a little scissor sachet. Oftentimes I'll do like a boho bead down here and even do a seed bead strand here, but with this little pair of scissors you have that little connection point there, so you can actually put a little loop on them so you can attach them to your luggage or to something, so that if you're going on a road trip, you have your scissors handy. I just was thrilled to get that. It's such a lovely addition. So I am going to clean up my mat, put away the things that are not going into the first project, and we're going to come back and make a pair of earrings. And just spoiler alert, I'll show you first how I did these, but I did not have any copper ear wires in my stash, so I took some of the Potomac beads copper wire, and I used 20 gauge and I did a pair in 18 gauge. I prefer the 20, but I did one of each so you can see. But I just made my own little artisan spiral ear wires out of the copper wire, and I'll show you exactly how I did that. But the wire matches the Athena cast so beautifully. So this is going to be my little pair of earrings. So it'll just be a second for you. I'm going to clean up and I'll be right back. I love this pair of earrings so much. Look at this, you guys. So I got the first one done. It looks a little bit complicated, but it's so easy and so fun. I am so excited to show you this. So I've already done my ear wires just because when I make them, I like to do them together so that, I can they are artisan, they are a little bit organic, but I feel like when I make them together, I get my spirals, pretty close. And but I will show you exactly what I did. So I just took a piece of that 20 gauge wire. As I said, you can use 18. I know the camera will probably not show you the difference in thickness, but this is the 18 gauge. So if you need a little bit tougher jewelry, maybe go up a gauge. I like the 20 gauge, so that's what I'm going to use. But I just took my really small round nose pliers and I just started with a tiny little circle. We're like making a head pin. And then from creating the head pin, we go into turning the head pin into the ear wire. So this doesn't need to be too big, just a really sweet little spiral. And it also doesn't need to go around too many times. I think I did 3. But like I said, if you do them one right after the other, you have a better chance of getting them the same. And they don't actually have to be the same. It's not machine made, and that's the beauty of it. So you can really make it as big as you want. I just try to keep my spiral to the same scale as what I'm going to be attaching it to. So from there, all I did is take, I can usually do this with my fingers because it's 20 gauge wire, but just turn this into a head pin. So just get a hold. If you need another pair of pliers to hold it, you can, to help you get a hold of your spiral and just bend that straight up. So basically, you just have a head pin. Now, I like to mirror my earrings, so I turned mine the opposite ways. Can you see how my spirals are going in the opposite directions? So when you do this for yourself, you can do them exactly the same or mirror them. It's really not a right or wrong. It's just the way that you like them to look. So for me, I usually do them mirrored. But from here, you have a head pin, and I have two different bail making pliers that I really like for this. So I'll show you both of them. I use both of these for jump rings. So this one I love for jump rings, but I've also gotten to where I really like the smaller mandrel on this for making my ear wires. I also love the handle on this one. And this is a regular 6-step bail making plier, and I use the smallest mandrel to get this first turn in the ear wires. So if you're doing them together, you want to choose what is going to be your front. So if I want that to be the front, then on this wrap, it's got to go underneath, because this is going to be what I want to be facing forward. So I'm going to put that in where I will be wrapping around the smallest mandrel. And I don't know if you can see, it's like a millimeter or so above the spiral, just because I need space to wrap this around this tiny mandrel. And that's all I'm going to do, is just bring it around and just bring it so that it's touching. And if you want to, like while it's still on there, you can kind of like flatten this so that it's facing forward a little bit. And after the earring is made, you'll have a chance to also adjust that. So in essence, that is the front of your ear wire. Just center everything. So far it looks just like that. So I'm going to set that bail making plier aside, and honestly you can do this with one plier. I've just gotten used to this one for some reason. I like it. So then I'm going to come and put this plier in, so that I'll be wrapping on the smaller barrel, and this time I'm going to put my little spiral right underneath the barrel. I mean, just pretty much touching. And again, if you want this to be, that's because I like this to be smaller. You know, I like that little bend in the ear wire to be smaller. You can use the larger one if you like it to be bigger. I just like them a little bit more compact. So whichever one you're going to wrap around needs to be the back barrel. And it is that simple of just bringing the wire around, and I'm just going to bring it to basically touching that first loop. And then when I take my plier away, I have essentially made the ear wire, and then I'm just going to go ahead and cut this however long you want it to be. I'm going to guesstimate. Now again, if I was making, when I made the pair, I held my two pieces exactly next to each other and cut them at the same time. I even wrapped this part at the same time. I put them both on the barrel. It just, gives me a complete set. And then I just have two more things to do to make this a lovely little ear wire. I use my flat nose pliers and line them up right here at the end, just like that, and just kick that out. And so my little ear wire is made. And then I have this tool. You don't need this tool. I'm just a jewelry toolaholic, and I've been collecting tools for many, many years, decades in fact. And this is a reamer that has different attachments. So if you're reaming a bead, you put that reamer attachment on and you go underwater. But mostly I use it for this little cup burr. I don't know if the camera is showing you it because it's quite small, but I just put my ear wire end, my cut wire in that little rounder, and that way nothing. I do feel something sharp there, but just go around until I got it that time. Just go around until it's not sharp, and then of course you can like pull that out. You can make some little adjustments to it, and you don't have to have that tool, as I started to say, for taking the sharpness off the end. You can do it with like a buffing block or a nail file, just anything to take the sharpness off so that you don't scratch or cut your piercings with your ear wire. But that beautiful little squiggly ear wire, very artisan, is done. And then I'll show you when we go to attach. but it's the same as, you know, attaching to other ear wire. You just like, without mangling your spiral, just, you know, move it to the side, string on whatever you're going to string on, and then close it back up. And I just love those. I just really love those. I mean, it's just, it's an artisan handmade earring from beginning to end, and I just think it's absolutely beautiful. And you know, you can do these more like a rosette. Like on these, I did my spirals a little bit different. I kind of pulled that wire to the back and then centered it on like a little rosette, so you can play with this and just make it organic and, you know, make it your own. So that's how I did the ear wire. And then for this little gorgeous little door knocker style, I took 7 pearls. So let me find the end of my pearls and get those 7 pearls off of here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I like the odd number. I work in odd numbers a lot. It's a design principle, but I like it because then there were 2 up here where I'm connecting and 1 at the center of the design. So I did 7, but you could choose. And if you want this to be much bigger of a teardrop, you know, use more pearls. For me, 7 was kind of that sweet spot. And then I took a little piece of copper bead stringing wire, and I didn't even put a bead stopper on. I just strung these with a pearl and then 2 seed beads. I might need to give myself a fresh cut on the end here. So I just strung these with a pearl and then 2 of these little 15-0 copper seed beads in between each pearl. So it's just a few minutes of stringing. Oh, and let me show you what these seed beads are. So you could totally use the gold Azuki seed beads that came in this month's box, but I wanted to do a pair of earrings that was all copper. I love mixing metals, and I do love to mix. My 2 favorite to mix are gold and copper, but I don't know, I just decided I wanted to do this one just copper from beginning to end. I guess I have a pearl that doesn't have a clear hole. Or my eyes are getting tired. That could be it. But let me just show you what I used. So these are from the Potomac Beads website. They are Miyuki seed beads. They're size 15-0. I just love this copper color. I mean, it just matches so beautifully. But I love these because they are the Duracoat galvanized. So that finish, it costs a little bit more, but this copper color doesn't darken, it doesn't rub off. Like, my work will really last with that. I'll just bring those down to the center of this little piece of wire, and then I'm going to pull my 2 ends together. And I have a number 2 copper crimp tube here, and I'm going to feed both wires through that. I have a couple of different sources for good quality crimp tubes. I use the number 2 size, and this is was a bead-along pack with all the different finishes: gold, silver, copper, and I think gunmetal. And I have another one too, and I can link that below if you need to replenish your number 2 crimp tubes. Then I'm just going to center this center it like that. And then I'm going to ignore one of these wires, just leave that one hanging out, and I am going to string 11 of these seed beads onto 1 wire. So I'll show you what that looks like. I just made a little seed bead loop there with 11 beads. Okay, last one. And now I'm going to just ignore this one and feed this wire back down through the crimp tube and pull that into a loop. Just wiggle it down in there. My other one, I got my pliers to help me. A little bit of leverage. It's coming out the back. And just pull that into a loop. And so from here, I just want to make sure that everything is facing forward. And I'm going to make this the back because my 2 wires are going to be on the back. and just make sure that everything is tight and lined up. And I used my magical crimping plier for this. Word of caution, you can very easily, even if I'm using 15-0 seed beads, but if you even were using 11-0, you have to be careful not to chomp down and break those seed beads and, you know, ruin your loop. So I just want to make sure that my crimp tube is in the center, and before I press down, I'm just making sure everything is facing forward and it's tight, and I'll just close down. I could see that I didn't break my seed beads, and when I take that away, I've pinched the 4 corners of that tube, and then I'm going to fit it back in the opposite direction and close again, and then just maintain the position and go around and around a few times, just turning it into a bead, turning the tube into a bead, and then just make sure that everything is straight when I take it away. I have this beautiful little copper bead, and if you've been around my channel, I'm sure you've heard me say this before. I'm going to trim this really close, but one of the things I love about magical crimping plier is that a non-jewelry maker will look at this little component and have absolutely no idea how that is held together or where it starts or stops, because that crimp tube is a bead and it doesn't look like it's serving a purpose. It just looks like a beautiful little tiny copper bead, and it's just, you know, it's just lovely. It fascinates me. I just love it. So the hard part of this, that was really the hardest part of this earring, which of course isn't hard at all. And then I took another little piece of that same 20 gauge wire that I made my ear wires out of, and you can do this with your pliers, but I like my one-step looper because especially when I'm making earrings, I get consistent loops. Like every single loop will be the same on my pair of earrings. So I'm just going to put a simple loop in this piece of wire on one end. Oh, it looks like it didn't make the cut for me. It just made a partial, oh, there it goes. That's strange. Might be time for a new one-step looper. So I'm just going to tidy up that loop. I have to open and close this loop again, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. And then I'm going to feed on one of those little check glass flowers. And again, when I was unboxing, that's one of the things that I loved was the color of this with the pearls plus the copper wash, and just all of that just made me want to do just a full copper pair of earrings. So just a detail, but when I make earrings, I really care about the quality. So let me show you the orientation of the loops matters, because as I said when I was unboxing, there's loops going in opposite directions on this little cage, you know, spiral component. So this loop at the top has to be going like parallel to your mat, and the loop at the bottom that's going to connect into our little component is going perpendicular to your mat. And if you get this wrong, you can definitely take 2 pairs of pliers and adjust it. But the other thing that I like to do is my one-step looper makes the loop going up, and I'm going to turn this one parallel to my mat and do this one going up, and then when I connect, I can put that that opening of the loop toward the back. So I'm just going to get that in there and see if I got my loop right. Looks like I did. But like I say, you can tidy up your loop. So I can kind of see already that this loop needs to be adjusted a little bit, and you can even adjust it once it's connected, honestly. Okay. So now it is just simple connecting. So I didn't even tidy up my loops because I am going to put them in. So let me see, where is the back and the front? That's the back. So I'm going to put the opening of my simple loop also toward the back. It's just a detail, but it makes your earring look seamless. You know, your components just go one from the other. And a non-jewelry maker is, you know, they struggle to see where the earring begins and ends. Okay, and now put this one here. And just open up the little ear wire that I made. Just check my loops really quick. I am a little bit of a perfectionist with my jewelry, and I tend to fuss with it a little bit. So when I'm filming, I hope it's not frustrating to watch me fuss with my loops and my wire. But as I showed you, I'm just going to be really gentle, just really gentle, and open up my ear wire. And again, I'm going to thread this on to what I'm considering the front. Okay, my designated front, and just close that little ear wire. And you can make some little adjustments if you need to pull this out. Like, I really do like mine small. I like the way that small curve fits in my piercing, but like I said, you can use the larger mandrel too. But these are absolutely stunning. I am so crazy about these earrings. They're so elegant. I could see these with a denim and diamonds look. I could see these dressing up a black top. I just love them. And then I'll always do one more thing. I don't always show it, but since I'm sharing the things that I get from the Potomac Beads website and from the Potomac Beads treasure box, I'll show you a product they have that I just love. It's called Permalac. It's a protective anti-tarnish coating, and it's really thin and it dries really fast. Now, these are plated. My seed beads are galvanized and they won't tarnish. I don't know about these crimp beads, but my wire is anti-tarnish that I made my ear wires out of, so I don't really need to do that. But it is so simple to just brush this on whenever you're finished with a project, meant to say. And so that's all I'm going to do is just brush it on, and it dries in just a few minutes. A lot of times by the time I am finished talking, it's dry. And copper is really pretty when it darkens. I like that look too, but I'm going to keep these shiny with my Permalac. And so, I'll just say while I'm doing this, if you are not into another monthly box, because I know that jewelry makers, we all get a lot of them, don't overlook the Potomac Beads website for supplies. They have an amazing section of seed beads, an amazing section of their Athena cast metal line, a section for crystals, a section for check glass. There are patterns on their website if you are a bead weaver. They've been making YouTube videos for over a decade. So, I like to dabble in bead weaving patterns, but I'm not great at it. I just, I used to do a lot more of it than I do now. But all of that is available through Potomac Beads, and I always link them in the description box of my videos. And if you use my link, it helps out my channel a little bit and doesn't change the prices or do anything to you at all. So I am just going to do the other earring, and I will put some pictures up at the end. Try to hang these maybe on a little form. They are so gorgeous, you guys. I just love them. So I thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, it is a lovely way to support my work, and tap the bell notification, and of course a thumbs up is always appreciated. I'm just really working hard at my channel. This is my passion project. My jewelry always has been, but my YouTube channel really is my passion project. So I really appreciate you guys being here and watching, and I hope everybody is safe and well and having fun on your beading mats, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao, creative friends.